Gab, the second half, particularly the end of this game, was just completely bonkers. You just felt the referee lost complete control of it. Two big calls, both, of course, involving penalties. The first one I thought was incredibly telling because Roma won it, but Pedro, who was brought down, Pedro didn't even appeal for it, Gab.
No, and in fact, you could hear the Milan players, why don't you take a look? Go to the VAR. Where's the VAR? The joke that was doing the rounds, as you know, Italy entering lockdown restrictions, the joke was that the VAR had gone in lockdown before kickoff and therefore wasn't active in this. Yeah, the referee, Giacometti, not just the two penalty decisions. You can argue whether the second one was a makeup call of some kind or whether he was just bad. He will not want to watch this again. This was one of the worst officiating decisions for both sides. I don't think anybody can claim to be favored in this one. Yep. But one of the worst refereeing decisions we've seen in a while.
I know, and you use the phrase there, and it's got to be a makeup call, hasn't it? The Çalhanoğlu pen.
You would think so. I mean, again, we don't know who's in the referee's ear, but I like to think the god of referees spoke to him and said, hey, boy, Giacometti, man, you done screwed up here. You got to be fixing this. I honestly don't know. But, you know, look, I thought we saw a tremendous game. Yeah. Refereeing mistakes aside, we saw moments of real skill. And, you know, if you're a Milan fan, you'll feel like you dropped 2 points, perhaps. But equally, Roma showed that they have a ton of fight. And for me, one of the best, cleverest managers out there in Paulo Fonseca. Quite
rightly, Gab, you picked, from a neutral's point of view, this was entertaining. Referee decisions aside, both teams showing glimpses of quality. Of course, it finishes at a point apiece. As you mentioned, though, Milan will be disappointed. They will feel this is 2 points dropped, and we talk about the fact that how far they can go this season. These are sort of the matches you feel they need to get done.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. And look, I mean, in the end, you know, the equalizer coming off of an assist, albeit an entirely unintentional one from Zlatan, you know, you can chalk that down to bad luck. Obviously, no Gigio Donnarumma between the sticks for Milan. You know, a victim of a COVID positive test the day of the game. I think that's a blow. That's something that rattles you when it happens so close to kickoff. But no excuses. Look, I go back to this. You know, Ibra and Simon Kjær aside, this is a very young team, whether it's Salamakers, Rafael Leao, who I thought played really well, Calabria turning in a shift, Benacer and Kessie in midfield. You know, these are young players. And I think, you know, in a game like this against the Roma side, which on the other hand is pretty much filled with veterans, certainly going forward, if you look at Dzeko, Mkhitaryan and Pedro, maybe they paid a bit of a price for inexperience as well.
And we talk, I feel every time after Milan win and Zlatan scores, you talk about the fact this Milan side need to be able to learn to be able to play without Zlatan, to win games without him. Again, emphasising that today with 2 goals.
Yeah, and look, I think I'm right in saying, you know, this is Zlatan's 3rd start in a row since coming back, because he played in the derby. Obviously, he played against Celtic in the Europa League. I'm wondering, you know, given Zlatan's venerable age, and I know that age is just a number, and you know he's sort of he's Highlander, he doesn't age, Benjamin Button, whatever you want to say. You know, once you get all the stereotypes out of the way, the reality is that for a center forward of his age to play 3 games in the space of 8 days, you know, not always a great idea. So Milan will need to wean themselves off him. The issue they have is that until Ante Rebic is fit and ready to go and ready to play from the start, there really is no alternative up front at center forwards. Rafael Leao doing a good job on the wing. I think Pioli loathes to move him inside. But these are the big calls I think that Pioli's going to have to make at some point, because you can't expect Zlatan to carry the can all season long if he doesn't get a break now and again.
Well, it's going nicely, isn't it, for AC Milan so far this campaign. As I mentioned, 2 points clear of Napoli at the top of the table. That point for Roma lifts them up to 9th in the table.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN+.